Do you know that Mark never saw Jesus?
I didn't know that. No.
Luke didn't see Jesus either.
But they lived at the same time.
Not Mark. Mark was actually a student of Peter.
Yeah, the consensus, as I understand it today, the consensus of historians is the Gospels are second generation anonymous texts. So they weren't contemporary of Jesus, they came the generation after that. And they're written in the latter quarter of the first century. This is the pretty much...
I heard different stuff.
I'm not aware of any biblical scholar who would believe that. The datings that accepted by virtually all academics are Mark around AD 70-ish, Matthew and Luke around 85, 90 AD, and John a bit later. Those are the normal dates. If you were to study this at university, this is what you'd learn. There are reasons for that. It's guesswork to some extent, but nevertheless, those are the usual dates. And they're anonymous, because if you actually read the Gospels, it doesn't say, I, Matthew, wrote Matthew. It doesn't mention Matthew as an author.
He speaks in third person, isn't
In the third person. And when Matthew comes along, I think it's in chapter 7, there's no sense that here the author is suddenly appearing in his own drama. It's just another character in the play, so to speak. So they're anonymous and they're second generation and they're not written by eyewitnesses. It's another finding of modern scholarship. So they're not written by eyewitnesses.
So those are just the Gospels, the things that Christians take as gospel. But if you look at the other 50% of the New Testament, it's written by Paul, who definitely 100% never saw Jesus in his physical form.
Right.
So if you take that logic of, oh, it came afterwards or it was written afterwards, we can say the same when it comes to the gospel authors. We can say the same when it comes to Paul. We can say the same when it comes to the New Testament talking about the Old Testament. The Old Testament came before. We can talk about Hinduism that predates both of them. So just because something came afterwards doesn't necessarily mean that...
But it makes it more reliable.
No, because then 50% of the Bible would be unreliable because it was written by Paul, who didn't even see Jesus and came afterwards.